So we're at a commercial building. We're here dealing with the ceiling tiles. As you can see, we have physical water damage to the ceiling. There is staining on the ceiling tile, which is sagging at this point. We have concerns as far as mold growth. So we will be taking some direct samples and take this into the lab and see the results. These are cotton swab samples. So this itself is for direct samples only. Very similar to a Q-tip. This is the capsule. We'll go ahead and open that up. You're definitely not supposed to touch the Q-tip area. And with this itself, just an example, test the area itself. So it's a direct sample. You put it into the capsule, seal it up, and put that into the Ziploc bag and straight to the lab itself. So we're taking the sample direct right above the ceiling itself. You want to wipe the area that you're concerned about by not touching the Q-tip itself. And once you get to testing, once you get that, you put it straight into the tube. So with this direct sample itself, this goes directly straight to the lab. The lab would open this up under containment, and they will look into this with microscopes and see exactly their findings and what type of mold they discovered. Like I said, if it comes back toxic or non-toxic, and they'll give us a full detailed findings as far as what we're dealing with here.
Hello, welcome back to yet another Website Depot podcast. As ever, I'm your host, Greg Benevent, and today I have a very special guest with us. You're going to take us through a very specific moment. I've got Savak from Scope Environmental there. How you doing, Savak?
I'm doing great. Nice to be here. And yeah,
it's great to have you, Savak. I mean, it's usually we have, when I have somebody on the podcast, it's a question of like, hey, what can you do for someone else? What do you offer? But today here, you're going to tell us about something you've done for Website Depot and how that can help other folks. So, yeah, so I'll give a very brief overview, and by all means, feel free to give more details to this and explain it. But as I understand it, as someone that hasn't been to the Website Depot office in almost exactly a year, that it began leaking.
Yeah.
And I saw some pictures on the company's internal Slack that looked legitimately horrific. I mean, it looked like the kind of thing we would put on your website to say this needs to be fixed. And so if you could tell us, Savak, a little bit about what you saw when you got to the Website Depot office there.
Yeah, so when we got to the office itself, we discovered a lot of water damage, some visible water stains. We did come across microbial growth. This is right below the baseboards and towards lower the wall area. Stuff like this consists of a lot when you have severe leaks or even small leaks itself. You'll have water damage, and when you don't address stuff like that, eventually you'll have microbial growth within time. So.
Oh man. Yeah. And I don't know, and maybe there's no good answer to this, so feel free to ignore this question, Savak. But I mean, it's what do you think caused this water damage? Was it rain coming down? Was it pipes? I mean, is it or is it just one of those things that happens?
I mean, it's just one of those things that happen. I mean, you can have roof leaks itself. Having severe wind damage. You'll have rain seeping in. So. It can consist of a lot of things.
Gotcha. Well, I guess, you mentioned that there was mold, there was microbial growth, and I know these things are bad just as a general rule, but I don't know the specifics of it. So how, if you could tell the folks just to kind of hammer it home, how mold is harmful to, say, them, the people around them, their pets, that kind of thing.
Of course. I mean, if you ever, as a homeowner itself, come across any microbial growth and you're concerned, this could be anywhere near the kitchen, inside your cabinets. Sometimes you'll see stains on your ceiling and it'll discolor over time. And, if you have concerns, it's not good as a homeowner to take care of it yourself, just to have a professional take care of it. Have a real professional technician come out, take a look. And, if certain things are needed to be tested, then we would get a hygienist involved to get it tested.
Okay. Speaking of testing and finding things out, what are, you mentioned microbial growth and mold and that kind of thing. So what are some of the findings of finding out what kind of mold it is?
I mean, the best way to actually determine the type of mold, since there's thousands of other types of mold, is to have a hygienist actually come out and take either a cotton swab sample and put that back into a bag and take that back to the lab to have the professionals look into it and see exactly what type of mold it is, if it's toxic or if it's non-toxic. So
Wow. Okay. Obviously those are pretty important findings as to whether it's toxic or not toxic. So, like, how long does it take per se? And obviously everything's different. How long does it take to receive those findings on average there?
It usually takes about 24 hours to get the
Oh,
results.
wow.
So with that itself, you'll have a full report as far as what type of mold we're dealing with, and all the hazards, and all the details as far as what mold it is. So
Wow. Okay. That is so much shorter than I thought you were going to say. Okay. So I mean that's great. That's 24 hours. So yes. Okay. So the say the findings come in. What is the next step from that?
once we get the results, we'll determine whether the growth itself is positive or negative. And if it's positive, you would have to take different procedures and actually, do a mold remediation. And, this consists of, air scrubbers and Tyvek suits and respirators. So,
Mm. Obviously, people live in their lives and nothing's foolproof, but is there anything anyone can do that's watching or listening to this right now to help them maybe cut down somewhat the odds of something like this happening to
I mean, the best thing to actually do is to call professionals out. Like I said,
them?
if you have any type of water damage, microbial growth, the best thing to do is call the real professionals out and have them come out and take a look and give their recommendations and their opinion as far as what needs to be done. So yeah.
Gotcha. No, I'm so glad you said that, because I imagine most folks see a little bit of mold and think, oh, okay, I can handle this. I can do this. Meanwhile, it could be totally hiding any other number of issues and problems.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
I mean, sometimes you'll see a little bit of mold on the wall itself, but
Mhm.
when you actually get into the cavity of to the walls, you can find more mold itself than what you actually see from the surface.
Oh,
So
geez. Oh, geez. Well, yeah, no, thank you. That's great. I mean, that's all I had for you. Is there anything you wanted to add?
I mean, I think you covered pretty much everything. Thank
Cool.
you.
No, that's great. I mean,
Yeah.
this is. I'd shake your hand if we weren't in the middle of a global pandemic. I mean, you came in and helped. This is
Exactly.
tremendous.
Exactly.
This is great. Usually all these podcasts are so speculative and prospect about what you could do for somebody. Here, you actually helped. You went in and fixed it. This is great. Well,
Thank you.
thank you
We
so
did.
much. Thank you
Thank
so much for coming on today, Savan.
For sure. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Of course, good meeting you too. All right. Well, on behalf of everyone here at Website Depot, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy and have a good night.